Our terrain looks now fairly good. I would like to implement a player that will traverse our terrain so that we will be able to develop a logic behind loading more chunks as we move around our terrain. In the description of this video there will be a freely accessible link to the GitHub repository which contains the starter project for section 2, and it will now contain the avatar raw Unity package that you should download. So just click on it and click download to download this package, and I want you to import it into your assets. For the player avatar, we will be using animated characters 2 from Kenny assets. There is also a cool asset called blocky characters, but I couldn't make it run using the animations. I couldn't import the animations. That's why we are using the previous one, but you can as well use this kind of character for the game. When you import the package into Unity, you will see that there are the animated characters too that we will be using, as well as the blocky characters. You can try figuring out how to use those as well, but I have been using those animated characters too, and here is our animated player raw prefab. Raw meaning that it has the animations prepared, but we have no scripts, and we are going to create those together in this video, and there is the animation controller. Okay, let's import it all into our project. When you're done, you should see this folder appearing. Now, what I would like to do is go to our scenes, right-click, create. We should see new scene. Let's create new scene, and let's call this scene player test. Okay, let's open up this new scene because we will want to create first our logic for the player movement before we start using it into our voxel world. So first of all, let's right-click in the hierarchy, create 3D object and a plane, and make sure that you reset the transform of it, so that it is in the center. Next, we are going to go to Kenny assets and drag our animated player raw into our scene, and we can click it and click F to focus on it. And here is our character. Now I have prepared its capsule collider, so it will collide with other objects in our game, and it will be using character controller. If you are not familiar with this component, character controller is Unity own character controller component that is mainly used for third person and first person player controller that does not make use of the rigid body physics. Basically, this is what we are going to use. Great. It has the character medium, so this is the character from the animated characters 2. This is the model, and I have added the animations, prepared those in the animator, so this is a simple setup. In any case, we have also the eyes, and the eyes will be the place where we are going to place our camera to have our first person view, so that we are going to look from the perspective of the avatar's face. With the basic setup out of the way, all we need to worry about is making sure that our character is moving using our character controller. And of course, to add a camera. So to add a camera, we will need to go to Window and Package Manager. A new window can pop up. I will go to the drop-down list at the top and select Unity Registry, and I will search for Cinemachine. And we should see Cinemachine camera package. Please install it because we are going to use it to create our camera perspective for our player. Okay, when we are done, let's close this package manager, and I will start from selecting the Cinemachine camera at the top of our Unity, or it can be hidden somewhere in those menus. I think in Unity 2021 it is in the Create Object menu. In any case, we want to select the Cinemachine and create a virtual camera, and it should create a camera inside our scene, as well as add this to the main camera Cinemachine brain. I want to focus on the CMVCam1 object. So first of all, I will select our Cinemachine camera in the inspector, and I will want to select the body type and select the hard lock to target. And we are going to select aim, and I'm going to select the same as follow target. And this is basically it. We are going to control our main camera through the script. Let's just check the lens, and I think this should be all right for now, and transitions, this should be okay. So this is our Cinemachine camera. Now I'm going to assign to it follow field the eyes of our player. And as you can see now our camera, let me disable the 3D icons, and now it should be better. Now our main camera, or our Cinemachine camera, will be looking from the perspective of our player. So all we need to do is to ensure that we can move it. So for this, we are going to need to have a custom script. So let's go to our scripts folder, right click, create a new folder, let's call it player. Okay, and inside this player, we are going to right click, create a C# script. Let's call it player camera. And let's open it up in Visual Studio. Great. Now the idea here is that we are going to make sure that we rotate our eyes of the player according to our mouse, and since our Cinemachine camera, as you can see, is in its follow, has the eyes transform, if we rotate our eyes transform, we are going to be able to rotate our camera and we are going to be able to move it. So basically this is what I want to implement, a way to move our camera around. So I'll paste the code here and let's explore what it does. Well, at the top we have serialized field private float sensitivity, so this will be the sensitivity of the movement. Next, the same but the transform, the player body. We will want to rotate our body when we rotate our camera to the right or to the left. So basically we always want to rotate our player with our camera. Our head stays immobile, but we are going to rotate our whole body. And next we will have something called player input script that we are going to create soon. And this will be simply one place where we get all the input from our player. And we're going to have float vertical rotation field equals to 0. Okay, so now in the awake we are going to get the component in parent called player input. And next we have the start. In the start I want to lock the cursor so that it stays in the center of the screen, so that we can actually use our mouse to rotate our character without seeing our cursor floating around the screen. And next in the update, all we need to do is get the mouse X and mouse Y. And this is where we are going to use our player input script that will access mouse position.x. So mouse position will be a vector 2, which contains X and Y. And those will be parameters read from our mouse input. We are going to multiply it by sensitivity and multiply it by the delta time to get our input values for the rotation movement. Next, we are going to have vertical rotation is equal to minus equal mouse Y. So this allows us to make sure that if we drag our mouse up, we are going to look up, and down, we are going to look down. If you want to have this inverted, you may want to leave it as equal to mouse Y. Next, we are going to calculate vertical rotation math f.clamp, and we are going to clamp the rotation by 90 and minus 90 degrees. So basically, we are going to only be able to look 90 degrees up and 90 degrees down from the center of our screen. So this is just the constraint that we are not going to be able to look, again, go up and look behind our back, or go down and look behind our back. Those are the limiting degree values, and you can change those to have different behavior. And next we're going to have transform.local rotation equals quaternion.Euler, and we're going to rotate our transform by the vertical rotation. So vertical rotation is up and down. Now to the sides, we are going to use the mouse X position. So here it was mouse Y position. Here is the mouse X position. So we want to rotate not the eyes of our player, but the whole body of our player. So we are going to call player body.rotate vector3.up times the mouse X value. And we are going to basically rotate our character to look to the right or to the left. Great. So this is the code for our player camera. Right now we need to also implement the player input so that we can test it. So let's do just that. Make sure that you copy the name so we do not have to tweak it here. Save the player camera. Let's go back to Unity. Okay, it will show an error, so let's right click, create a C# script, and let's call it player input. And when you are done, let's open it up in Visual Studio. Okay. Again, I will paste the code here. What this script will do is it will contain all the code about getting the input from the player, so we have one place where we can access all the things that we need to have. First, we are going to have public event action. So this is the C# action delete get. This is something like we had the Unity events that we were using. So let's right click on it, quick actions, and say using system. So we are going to have the system library at the top, and we can have on mouse click event, which will be useful for digging mechanic, and on fly, which will be useful to traverse our world a bit more quickly to test if our terrain is correctly loaded or what is going on around us. Next, we're going to have a property. We can create it using the snippet in Visual Studio. It is prop, tab twice, and you have the name. You can use tab to move around those name and the type. You can type bool, or I think it was this field, and next tab again to move around, and you can call it whatever you want. And the most important thing is that the setter is private, because we want to set it here in the script. We never want to set those parameters outside of this player input. So you can create those properties. First is public bool running pressed, and this is the indicator if we want to run or not. Next, we're going to have public vector3 movement input, which will be the movement input received from our keyboard from the keys or WASD. And next, we're going to have public vector2 mouse position, and this will be the position that we are using currently in our player camera. This will be when we move our mouse. Now, of course, all of those have the private setter. And last one is public bool is jumping, which will indicate if we want to jump or not. Okay, with all those properties, we will have a void update method, and again, we are going to have multiple methods. You can create those by get something, and right click, and quick actions, and generate this, and it will generate your new method here, so you do not have to type all of those methods below. So we're going to have get mouse click, get mouse position, get movement input, get jump input, get run input, and get fly input. And those will be used to get all of those parameters or invoke those two actions. Okay, so first I have the get fly input. So we're going to check if input.getKeyDown, and I have selected keycode.v to be responsible for enabling or disabling the onFly. So it will call, if this key was pressed, it will call onFly !invoke to invoke this event in case something is listening to it. And this will be useful when we want to start flying and stop flying. We are going to have this logic inside a separate script. But basically we want to call this event, and we do not care about who is listening to it. If somebody is interested in this message, this is why we are using those actions, delegates, or Unity events. Okay, so we have decoupled this. Next is get run input, and this will be simply getting running pressed equals input.getKey keycode left shift. Again, you can modify it or expose it as the keycode at the top here. Next, we are going to have private void get jump input, and this will be getting input.get button, and we are going to call jump, and this is from the input manager from project settings. So if you are not sure what's going on here, go to edit in the top menu in Unity, select the project settings, and it should open a new window. I'll drag it here, and inside the input manager you have those axes, and you can access those jump or whatever you want to access here, and this will be space for our purpose. So this is what we are using here. Okay, next we are going to have get movement input, and this will again be using those axes from the input manager. This will be movement input equals new vector3, and we are only interested in x-axis, so this will be the input.getAxis horizontal. Y is 0 because we do not want to modify the y value here, and input.getAxis vertical is on z axis, so we have this vector3 created here. Next, we're going to have get mouse position, and this will be mouse position, which is vector2 equals new vector2, and in this case we are going to again use the predefined axis from the input manager. This is mouse X and mouse Y. Make sure that you type those correctly. And last thing is get mouse click, and if input.getMouseDown 0 is the left button of the mouse, again you can change it or expose it as a field here in the player input. We're going to invoke onMouseClick $dot to check if anything is listening to this event. If somebody is listening to this event, we are going to invoke it. And this is all that we need for our player input script. Again, all of those scripts are on the GitHub. You can access it as a patron, as a YouTube member, or by signing up for my newsletter. Great, so with this done, let's go back to Unity. Great. Now errors should be gone. Let's close the project settings. All we need to do is select our animated player raw. I'm going to add here the player input, and to the eyes, I'm going to add player camera. Now I will want to select the player body as the animated player raw, and the player input is accessed automatically. So if we now press play, we should see that we can move our mouse and our character can move up, 90 degrees up, 90 degrees down. As you can see, this is the issue, so we can decrease it. But basically, we can rotate our player, so we do not need to worry about rotating our camera or the neck or the head. We are rotating the whole character to move around. Okay, it was a lot. If you're enjoying this tutorial, leave a like, subscribe. Also consider supporting me through Patreon or YouTube membership, and of course if you can share those videos, it would help me a lot. Okay, see you in the next video.